At 1880, good luck. Just make sure the audio is loud enough so I can hear the moves. What do we want to do? Actually, let's go a normal G3. So opponent, 20,000 games of rapid. That's a lot of rapid chess. That's 20 times what I've done. Okay, I'm just going to castle early, and then we're going to decide how we're going to change the center here. Or do we put the bishop on the diagonal? Let's do that. Let's go and put the bishop on the diag. Just watch out for, obviously, queen coming down there. The knight up, I think, is a perfectly good move here, with a view to then bringing the knight across later on. I think that's a good move to try and challenge some of black center control before we launch the pawns. And again, you can trade here, you can leave the bishop where it is, you can drop back. Obviously, if you challenge it, you've got to do something. It's probably good to get rid of the actual bishop. So let's take... But now what to do about the center? D4 takes, might concede some ground. So I'm just going to do a slow, steady C3, maybe even D3 and develop the knight first. Complete the minor piece development. But I guess D4 actually makes sense as well, doesn't it? Now if you take, I can take in over. So relative symmetry here. So we've got a move here. We've got knight up, but we've got nowhere to jump forward to. So I think I'll bring the knight across to a natural F3. And maybe the rook over. Let's bring the knight across and we can jump in and challenge that bishop. Bishop down could be a bit annoying. That could be very annoying. So rook across, knight in. I guess we can just simply step up on a dark square. But I do have knight up now to hit the bishop. If you come here, I guess I can always drop back then. If knight in... Yeah, I'm going to go there, hit the bishop. Knight in is a bit annoying and a bit problematic, especially if you go here. Wait, he's played rook down. What's he trying to do there? Maybe double up. So I've got a chance to take here, and break this pawn structure, E3, and you're going to have to commit to a move like F5. I don't think it makes sense to take this way, but it's got to be right to get rid of that bishop. Let's do that, and then try and figure out a plan. Opponent is playing this silly fast starter, so if we take and E3, I think you're going to really have to play F5 at some point, but our king feels pretty safe. I guess you can blast here. But it's got to be the right plan to do it and try and release the queen. So let's go solid here. Not too worried about it for this move. Very natural move. I need to get my queen active, so where? I'm going to challenge the rook initially. I'd expect rook across. He played it silly fast, and he's not using any thinking time whatsoever. Literally not thinking at all. Let's play the queen up so that we can double attack the rook. See if he plays the queen over. He does. So he just wants to trade everything up. So if we go up, lose a rook, gain a queen, lose a rook, gain a rook, that would be good for us. So here, pawn takes, take. We can take with check and hit a pawn. That could be good for us. The pawn push could be good here. If you play the queen or the rook across, we can take this rook. So I think it might be the right time to play d5. And what do you do? If we lose a rook, we gain a queen, and we're very happy. Because if you take our rook, we can take back. So d5, if you play a rook across, we take a queen, lose a queen, and gain a rook, we'd be happy. So d5 looks a move, doesn't it? But I'm probably missing something, but I'm going to play it. He's using no thinking time, just a couple of seconds a move. Done it again, just a couple of seconds and take. So let's take and collect the pawn, and then we hit another 2. So if I take this one, it undermines the center, but these two could easily fall. If I take this, it undermines this. So does it matter? If I go here, I pressure the rook, don't I, so the queen can't wander off. So I'm going to take this one. We threaten this one immediately, and we can go back and pressure this one, or try and get the rook active. But at some point, the risk is that you get active on this file, and it becomes a bit problematic. But now, rook across, and we're creating a threat to get forward. It's got to be right, I think, to play rook across. I just don't want to allow something where we eventually get pressure here. which could happen, but across, what do you do? If you come down and charge the rook, we can go here and double attack the pawn. If you were to check, we can step up. Rook down, it's not a threat right now, there's back rank issues, it's got to be right to develop. So let's come across and try and go here and double attack this pawn. He's playing it really crazy fast for a rapid game. Now he's pushed forward now, so my idea was to simply play rook up here to attack it. Does he try and defend it? Maybe he doesn't, maybe he can. I could play queen here as well and go for a direct trade. Check, king up. Actually, maybe king up's a good move here to get off the background so there's no check. So, rook here though, I threaten to go here, don't I? It gives him a chance to blunder. We double attack this, he'll probably play rook across, but if he gets a bit lax, rook across threatens to just win the game. So he has indeed played the correct move. So I like the look of king up here, just so there's no one move check. Maybe rook queen forward with a view to rook forward to double attack the rook and the pawn, but king up's probably a nice slow steady move. King across I can just trade off, right? So mind you, I don't want the queen getting in here easily, but I'm going to go here just so there's no one move check. And I think I'm looking at this sort of plan to pressure the pawns and the rook. And here cuts the defense to the rook here. He's playing it far too quick. So I think we need to go here first. And there's no easy obvious rook move to attack the queen. But the idea is to play a rook up here and we immediately attack the rook, threaten checkmate, attack the pawn. But I don't want to allow his queen in with some sort of repetition, which could easily happen. But he's just using no thinking time. And maybe even just queen here and trade the queen off. We've gained a pawn. But there is an actual dangerous threat on the board. I guess you can go here, simply defend, but then a pawn would fall. Let's get the cursor off the board so there's no accidental mouse slips. Wow, he's played rook forward. Is that really a move? What's he trying to do there? He's covering a check here, but he's allowed check up, check. King up. There's got to be something. There has to be something, doesn't there? But what's his idea? What's the plan? He stops a check here, I can see that. So check, king here. I've got rook here. Or I can play check, up, check, out, queen here, threatening check. But I can just go here, right, and threaten the pawn and threaten checkmate, and if he guards here, I take. And there's no immediate attack we're facing. Well, hold on, does it make sense if I check first to kick him up and then go here? I don't think it does actually. I think I want to reserve. I want to create the mate threat, but I want to reserve a check if I need one. But we attack the pawn, we attack this with a checkmate in one threat. Rook across defends it. But then there's potential for a pawn target. Not an actual immediate threat, but here, if it kicks the rook, if you come forward, we can then check here and check here. I guess you can guard, but we've gone for a pawn, so why not take it? Let's take the pawn. As long as we keep this guarded and keep this guarded, there's no endless repetition, but I'm really low on the clock now. Yeah, he's just used no time whatsoever. We just need the queen off the board and it should be easy. It should be comfortable if we can just get the queen off, but how the heck do we get the queen off the board? That's not easy to achieve. Maybe rook here now to press the pawn, then check and collect, something like that. But I'd rather take it with the queen than the rook, ideally. Yeah, he's wandered off trying to target this, so I could go here and see if he takes. I could check here, check, or check. I like this as a move as well, and see where the rook's going to go, because you've got to be careful about a back rank mate. It's got to be right to hit the rook, I think. Because if you go here, we'd be able to check, and then if you block, we surely have a way to just pin the rook. As long as we just don't allow this endless repetition, should be good. Oh, he's come forward allowing it. So I think we just check, up, check. You have to block, pawn up, and that just wins the game on the spot, doesn't it? So check, check, and up. And we cover the threat here. He'd have to go here, won't he, I think? But then I've got to check here if he does. And he can't come back. So here I just push the pawn and that should be over. Just played it too quickly for a 10-minute rapid game. Yeah, he's gone there. So pawn up, we're just double checking. We're not missing anything, but there's no obvious check. There's no way to guard it, is there? So just play up. If you guard with a queen, we just trade everything off and we've got a clean extra rook. So we got a good win, but it was really just because he was playing it far too quickly for a 10-minute game. But let's see what it was in engine speak. We just pause so we don't accidentally start another game. We have 34 moves. They're the move times for both players. I can see our opponent just going silly quickly there for all their moves. It's fine if you know the theory, of course. If you booked up on the theory, you can play quickly. But for any time control you play, it's generally a good idea to just play the right speed for that time control. Yeah, so out of the opening, played it very well. First 21 moves, we're basically just completely flatline level. Then we've gained an advantage from a blunder. 95 versus 86 on the accuracy. So we'll just have a flick through. So we've just gone for our normal setup with the bishop on the diagonal. And we're just trying to figure out a plan to get our other pieces up. So you see, nothing's been flagged for either side here. Just common sense development moves. Let's try to now challenge for the center, get our pieces developed. Now here, bishop across was the right move to put pressure on here with a view to knight coming down. So that's the first inaccuracy. So we should have taken there, excuse me. Takes, then a4 to attack the bishop. Bishop goes back. The queen calmly steps forward. You attack the knight. The knight jumps down to c4. You could take there, couldn't you? It's not the move. The move is queen d5, but you could take there. Take here. But that's not the suggested move. It's queen d5. I think most of us would just go for this. Okay. Knight back. Then queen takes on b3 instead. And then we blast up with d5. So that was the suggested line. But taking the bishop there, it's not been flagged, but we've lost a tiny fraction, so we're still just level here. But this looks all good. Then d5, yeah, should have taken with the queen, not with the pawn. That was the blunder, and suddenly we're +3 better, so we've calculated it correctly. If you take with the queen, it's 0.0 level still. So we take the rook. We lose a queen and we gain a second rook. King steps up. We throw in a check. We grab a pawn. And the kingside attack starts. We try and meet that. You just blast forward with f4 and it gets a bit crazy, doesn't it? It gets a bit crazy, but that's the suggested line then. There's always a pawn here you can go for. It's whether we can get our rooks connected and get them into the game. But from that moment, we're now +3 better. We're just looking for common sense moves just to try and get our second piece into the game. Yeah, so queen f6 was the right move there. Take, and take here, and I'd be really happy. Got that second pawn. +5, it's now 7.8. I should have played h4 immediately instead of going after the pawn, but it'll pan out to the same sort of concept. So here again, offer the queen trade is the best line, and we've gained that extra pawn. We'd maybe play a rook here and then get this one as well. So it's just completely winning for us here. And we've just seen this last finish at the end. So at my level, that's a pretty good game, so very good.